Welcome, I'm Bev Adams. I own an independent paper crafting business showcasing products from Stampin' Up! I made this cute little card with products from Stampin' Up! I sell these products and also a few items to make crafting more convenient. I have the free detailed directions for this project on my website. You'll be able to click the links for the products that I use to be taken to my online store at Stampin' Up! You'll see where to find all of that at the end of this video. So don't worry about taking notes. It's time to put stamps, ink, and paper together. I'm using products that I selected for people that are just getting started at stamping. I intentionally picked out products that you can make a wide variety of cards with minimal supplies. Let me show you what I'm using. I'm using the Four Season Floral stamp set. You can find this in our beginner brochure. A Simply Chamois for cleaning your stamps, some designer series papers in the Brights collection, some basic tools including dimensionals, mini glue dots, stamp and seal, paper snips, and also a stamp and blend, so we'll be using these. Classic stamp and spots, these are the stamp pads that we'll be using. They're kind of little mini versions. Whisper white note cards and envelopes, a 2-inch circle punch, and as an optional item, a 2 1/4-inch circle punch, some of the cardstock from our Brights collection, and also a paper trimmer. Our paper trimmer will help you cut straight lines very quickly. You may have a trimmer of your own, or you can just use scissors, but you'll probably need a ruler. So let's get started. Get out one envelope and 2 card bases. One of these bases we're going to use for the card itself, and one we're going to use just for the cardstock. These cards come already pre-scored. There's a kind of a V shape and a bump. They call them valley and mountain. The valley goes on the outside of a card. Took me a while to figure that out. And you might be using some of this gorgeous Grape cardstock. If you didn't get the cardstock, that's okay. I'm going to show you ways around that. We will need the basic gray stamp spot, maybe the gorgeous Grape, and one of the greens. I use the Just Jade, but you can use Shaded Spruce or Granny Apple Green. And because I have other white cardstock, I'm actually not going to use this card base for my cardstock, but you can. On that list of supplies, I also have a clear block D that you're going to put your stamp on. The blocks are reused over and over again, and so you save money or save space, which is my favorite part of it, by reusing these blocks. We're going to use this basic gray stamp pad. Since the block is larger than the stamp pad, I like to take the stamp pad to the block. And just stamp kind of near the edge. We're going to be punching that out with that 2-inch circle punch. You might also want to decorate the envelope, and so we're going to stamp that same flower again. And I think I'm going to stamp it on the left side of my envelope. And then we're going to use that 2-inch circle punch. I like to turn my punches over so I can see exactly what I'm cutting. These lock so you can stack them up flat, but open it up so you can punch. And so I'm going to just slide it in here and punch it out. This card, I didn't do any coloring on the flower, but if you'd like to color, now's a good time to do it. We're going to take the gorgeous Grape and just pad on some ink on the block. And the green, as I said, I'm using Just Jade. You just need a little bit. And this is a blender pen. It really doesn't have any color on it. Yours will come white, but they do get kind of stained. But I'm just going to pick up a little bit of the ink and kind of swirl it around and use that to color. So this blender pen can be any ink color that you own. It's better to start light and get darker. You can always add more color later. And then you can make this same pen do another color just by cleaning off the ink, and I'm just kind of rolling it and scribbling it on my paper, and then pick up your next color. And then again clean it off so it'll be ready next time. You can color your envelope the same way. You're going to want a strip of Whisper White that is 1x3, and so I'm just going to snip this off a little bit shorter. And we're going to stamp our greeting in basic gray. So ink up the greeting. This can be on that same block. And we're going to stamp pretty much right in the middle of that strip. Then we're going to flag this is called flagging ends. So I'm going to cut about a 1/2 inch snip in the middle of that, and then from this corner to the end of that snip, and from this corner to the end of the snip. That's a good way of getting that snip in the middle. If I just cut out the V, a lot of times it gets really off center. For this card I used this designer series paper. It's got dots on one side and kind of a fabric kind of look on the other side. I thought I'd use a different sheet. There's 2 different designs in the designer series paper. I'm going to use this one for this card. This is 6x6, so to make the best use of my designer series paper, I'm going to cut it at 3 inches. And then I'm going to cut it at 4.5 going this way. And we'll go ahead and put this on our card front. If you're using the Stamp and Seal, you'll need to take this cover off and then roll it. If it doesn't roll, sometimes the adhesive is not up at the tip, so you just kind of use your fingers to roll it. And then it's taken me a while to figure out how to finish it off without pulling off extra adhesive. So I found that if I tip it up this way, it kind of breaks that adhesive off. And we're going to go ahead and center this on our card front. One of the supplies I like to use is called a bone folder, and it helps me get a really good crease. Sometimes I use my fingernail, or maybe you could use a plastic spoon or something smooth so it doesn't tear your paper. So this piece is going to go on your card front with the points kind of in the center, top and bottom, and the points on the edge of the printed paper. And then we're going to put our flower, whether you've colored it or not, here. But I think it needs a little bit more contrast between this piece and this piece. So here's some options. if you got the 2 1/4 inch punch, and if you bought the Designer Series paper, you can punch a circle and layer them like this. And that really adds a lot, I think, to this card. Other options you might want to do is to use that same 2-inch punch, the one that we used for the circle, but go ahead and punch out 3 of the Designer Series paper. Oops, and I don't have enough, but that's okay. I'm going to get as close as I can. You can see this flat spot here. Not a problem, because we actually only want to use the edge. And so if I put that flat spot underneath, and let me put it in front of the white. So just leaving a little bit poking out and kind of putting all 3 of these around here. You can get a nice border, and that gives a little contrast here. And the other thing you can do is take your gorgeous Grape stamp pad and just kind of brush your stamped image on the stamp pad. You want to kind of try and keep that same angle. If you dip too low, like this is a little bit lower, like I went a little bit lower and got extra wide there, but that's okay. And just go all the way around, and you've got a really thin purple border on there. And then whichever way you do it, you can pop this up here with these Stampin' Dimensionals. These are 2-sided foam pieces. They have adhesive on both sides. And I usually put 3 on a circle. Pull that backing off. And then put it on your card. And that's it. You have a pretty card. Here's the one with the purple cardstock background and not colored in. Either one of these is a lovely card. Here is the web address for this project, where you'll find the free detailed directions and links for the products I used. Just click the links and you'll be taken to my online store at Stampin' Up! Also on my website, you'll find a shop button. Under shop, you'll find products from Bev, shopping strategies, frequent shopper points, a link to my online store at Stampin' Up! When you click products from Bev, you'll find information about sharing my current products notebook in Evernote, and taggers. I started making taggers when all of those layering shapes came out, and it was so hard for me to figure out which one I used and how to tell somebody else which one I used. So I made taggers. I also sell my cardstock sampler, fine tip glue pen replacement tips, and large and small reclosable bags that I use for Designer Series paper, both the 6x6 and the 12x12. And I have a link for my friend's bow maker. Under inspiration, you can scroll my projects, look at the latest post, find out about the basics, which I've designed especially for new stampers, and techie tips. Under getting organized, you'll find links to stamp case slips, product labels, large labels, case inserts, ink refill cases, lots of coloring tools, stamp pad storage that you can make for yourself for practically no money, catalog tabs, a quick reference, and a wish list with the catalog index, directions for my basic toolkit to go and my compact desktop toolbox. I have so many people looking for my Evernote current products notebook that I have a new tab just for that. You can find out how to share my searchable catalog. And if you're interested in joining my team, you can go to SIP Together and you can find out how to join my team so that you can either save money or make money. Almost all of those resources are free. More organization means more time for crafting. Talk to you soon. Bye.